So I just want to explain one thing before the video, just so you understand my predicament. I bought this car behind me in August. It was August the 14th, and literally the week after I lost my job. So I just want you guys to know that between the 14th and now, which is about 2 months, I have had no income. I've had to move back home and obviously start my course, and I'm in the process of working a part-time job and my course, which obviously pays me at the end of the month, so it's not really ideal. So the reason why a lot of the stuff on this car hasn't really been sorted is because I'm basically just waiting until I've got the funds to carry on. But I can promise you now, we're going to get a lot more Odyssey content coming soon, with modifications and so much more. It's just one of those things, but I just want to say it before the video so you guys not in the comments saying, oh, why haven't you fixed bits on your car, you know, why's your paintwork dreadful, blah blah blah. You know now, it's done. So let's get to the video. Hello and welcome to a not so sunny, slightly windy Weymouth. Now this is the 2 month in 2 days of owning this. 2 months. And it's been a long 2 months, I'll tell you that. So this video today is just summarising all the modifications, all the fixes, all the modifications due to come, all the fixes due to come, and what ownership has been like so far. So we're going to make this video really easy for you guys today. And first of all, I'm going to walk around the car and tell you what I fixed and what needs fixing, and then we're going to walk around the car again and do modifications that have been done and that are going to be done. Now, this is my 2005 Odyssey. This is my 2005 Honda Odyssey L. It is a beautiful car, and you know what? It's been 2 months of absolute bliss. Now, there are some underlying issues that you're going to find out in the video about, some of which have been resolved, some of which are still ongoing. But even though this car is probably in the worst sort of condition it's going to be in, at least in my ownership, it's actually been really good. It's been really reliable. It hasn't missed a beat. It's just been a great overall car, super comfortable, a bit pricey on the fuel side, but you know, you can't have it all with a car, can you? Obviously not. It is not a car to buy if you want fuel economy, but it is still pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to run through with you about this car today and tell you about what my plans are for it, and walk around and get going. Someone's giving me a nice toot. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so I've got it nice and clean for you. Feel very lucky because it's normally absolutely covered in crap because of where I work. So it's clean for you. I'm going to go around and walk around and talk about this car today. So I hope you guys are enjoying the harbour vibes sort of over that area. It is nice down there. So on the front end, what have I had to fix? Nothing at the moment. Now you will see, or you probably won't see very well, is that this light has decided it's going to begin crying. It's rather annoying. I have dried this out 2, 3, 4, 5, I've lost count how many times. I've actually ended up burning the outside of the light here, the plastic, because I've been having to heat it up so many times to try and resolve this issue. Now, it was on both sides, but it seems to have sort of disappeared on that side and it's still here. So I did buy silica bags, which is what was suggested to do online, and it has resolved this one, but this one is just an absolute seeping mess. So it hasn't got water ingress, but it's moisture, and it's rather annoying and also going to be a pain in the ass when it starts messing up the headlights. So that wasn't an issue, but it turns out it is an issue. So I have got headlights actually coming for this car very soon, so we will do a sort of front bumper removal and see what's going on behind here. You probably again can't see it too well, but on this side there's obviously been some sort of hit or issue before with the car because it's sort of lopsided here. So when I do take the front end off, I'm going to take all this apart and see what's really going on behind here. But on the front, apart from the misty headlight, we haven't really got much going on, to be fair. Now, we do have another problem. You might not be able to see it because this GoPro tends to make everything look so beautiful, but this whole front end, so the wings, bonnet, bumper, are really dreadful. So at some point in this next year, this car's going to have a sort of half paint job or a full paint job or a wrap. I don't really know, but I do need to tidy it up. So if I want to sell this for a good bit of money, I can't be selling it with this. It's just dreadful. So if you do see my paint in very bad condition, that's because I'm waiting until next year, A, for funds, and B, for the better weather, so I can get this tidied up on the paintwork. So paintwork is obviously going to come last. So welcome to the side of the car. We're going to talk about sort of both sides because you can't see the other side. But what have I had to fix and repair on this side? Not a lot. Nothing really. Now what I will say is the alloys, these 350 arrays that came on it, beautiful. They were 50 shades of curb marks and silver, so I didn't really fancy that sort of that colour theme. So I have actually taken these back and literally with rattle cans sprayed these anthracite grey, which I think you'll say complements the car very well. It complements the wheels, and actually I think from factory these came in this colour, or were an option in this colour from this sound. So yeah, beautiful. And then what we did also have, which you probably can't see, is when I bought it, the rear suspension was like slammed, like you wouldn't believe, and the front was stock. So we later found that the rear was on cut springs and the shocks were toast. So this is now sat on a set of tying coilovers, so you'll see that this isn't stock fitment, this is a lovely dropped height. Now unfortunately I can't go any lower because the front coilovers won't go any lower, which is a bit of a shame. So the rear is just sort of sat level with the front. But the plans are down the line anyway, that I would look at sort of changing the wheel setup anyway, but that's sort of more for the modifications. But that's really all I've had to repair. Everything else works for now, and it's all been really good in the hood on the side of the car anyway. So with the rear of the car, everything's been really good. So all we actually have got was a little bit, or the most, surface rust on the car is actually on the rear wide piece of the exhaust, so that's fairly rusty. I would say maybe a year or two, and that's going to probably start to break through. So we have got an exhaust system going on the car to fix this at the end of the month. It's really anything that's a slightly issue with the rear of the car. Yeah, there's no issues at all really. You know, you've got to bear in mind I picked this car up for £1,900, so to have issues is understandable, but the issues it has are just very minimalist. That is literally it for the rear. There's nothing that I can tell you that's really a fault. It's just pushed it. So here indeed is where we run into a few problems. Now these aren't catastrophic, these are not problems, they're just very mild things need to be sorted. And actually, funnily enough, it's very Honda, and it's also very old Japanese problems. So we're going to touch upon one that's in the interior, just because we're sort of talking about the engine and the mechanical stuff. Now, I want to say this, the gearbox, 7-speed auto, flipping silky smooth, lovely, excellent. Engine, K24, can't really hit VTEC, a little bit lame, but super sound, super smooth. Love a little bit of rorty noise when you rev it up, tasty. So, blissful. Now, what we have got is this went into Honda. Now, I'm doing a lot of Honda related work, just pushing it into Honda because A, they supply the correct parts, unlike most places, and B, because I want to get a bit of paperwork behind this car. So when I do come to sell it, as I want to make a bit of a profit on what I paid, I've got to have some good paperwork on it, and there's not really very much. So Honda did do the gearbox oil change, because the gearbox was very noisy when I bought it, and this is sort of sat within the mileage where you would get the gearbox done, so that actually has been done. Now, when it went in there, I asked for a health check. They threw one in for free. Blissful. What they did find, or what I did know, at least for this one, is that there was a leak coming from the back of the engine. Very small. I'm losing about ½ a litre a month, so it's not really a lot. What it is down the back of the engine, there's a spool valve, it's called. It's held in by 3 nuts. That's 3 nuts. And it's just leaking out of a seal. So it's like a £10 seal, and it's literally 3 nuts, and it is sorted. It's just unfortunate that it's down the back of the engine, and I don't really fancy doing it, because if I break anything, or I can't get it back on, I haven't really got a car, which isn't ideal. So that needs doing, but the leak, minor. And then we have got an engine mount. They didn't specify which one, but there definitely is an engine mount that's definitely worn, because it's a bit of excessive movement. So that also needs doing on here as well. And the reason why the gearbox oil was low, not because of just the age of it, was because there's a slight seep coming out of one of the seals on the gearbox. So lovely, I can smell the slight whiff of engine oil right now. It's not the best smell. And then that is everything for sort of the mechanical side of things. So just a small few minor things. The front bushes, lower arm bushes are quite worn, so it's just bushes and seals basically, which is practically Honda and practically jabbed through and through. Now, what I was going to mention for inside the car, and then if it doesn't work, is the radio, which is rather annoying. So that's also an issue I've got to sort out. That's why I've got headphones on. You see me putting every video with headphones on, because they're just stuck to my face, stuck to my head now, because I have no music in the car, so it is dreadful. I mean, when it does work, you know, maybe once a week, it just speaks Japanese, which is rather useless. So I haven't got a radio and it sucks. You know, it ain't ideal, but there we are. But that is basically all of the things I have fixed / need fixing on this car as it currently stands. So do you know what? For a car that I paid probably almost a quarter of the market value for, Can't complain at all. Oh yes, did forget to mention, I need a fog light as well. So yeah, that's another thing to add to the list, but it's only like 20 quid from AliExpress. So yeah, fog light, which I'm going to do the same time as I do the headlights on my bumper, hopefully. Plans. I wanted to say one thing now, because it sort of covers the whole car. What will be happening, apart from maybe a custom wrap job or paint job, whatever you know, next year, it's now going to be into rain, lovely, is this we'll be having a full lip kit fitted, so that we'll be having the front lip, side skirts, rear spoiler and rear lip. Probably the rear spoiler before the rest of the stuff, but that's all going to come with the sort of wrapping slash painting, whatever I get up to with that. I'm going to get this red done really fast now because I'm going to get soaked. So yeah, just bear in mind the whole car is going to have the full lip kit on it. Now on the front, modifications wise, I've done nothing to literally put a sun strip on it. Marvellous. You know what it's like, no funds. There's not really much needs to be done to the front end of this car to make it look as fantastic as it already does. It's beautiful. I need to set a decent plates, but I'm having logbook issues, so I can't really sort that out right now. And I'm debating to paint that grille in black. I still haven't decided 2 months later. This sort of import grille is just gorgeous. That came on the car as well. But you know, the front end itself is just lovely, and there's not really anything I want to do to it to change it really. It's just really good looking. It just needs that, like I said, that lower lip kit along the car to make it look different. So that's all that's really been done slash going to be done to the front as time goes on. So down the side we're going to have a bit more action happening. So as you can see, it came on the 350 rays, which I've indeed painted, and obviously it is lowered and looking nice with the fitment. So it came with the wind deflectors as standard. I think they all do, so mine haven't come off during the transition of it coming over to the UK, and that is all that's really been done to this car as it sits. And again, it's a bit boring to say that along the side of this car, apart from that side skirt setup, there's not much that's going to change, although in the new year I'm planning to get rid of the 18s and jump up to a set of 19s, which is going to be a vibe. I just feel like we need a bit more size on here. I just feel like 18, I mean 17, they come on 17 standard as tiny, but I feel like I've seen plenty of photos of these up, and 19s just seems to be the sweet spot with decent fitment. So I'm going to try and get rid of the staggered Nissan fitment, because it's a pain in the ass on the rear, and try and go for some slightly skinnier 19s. We can get a little bit of stretch, a little bit of stuff on. And you know what it would do as well is it will sort of alleviate this slight bit of arch gap that I've currently got as well, because the shocks won't drop any lower. So that is really all going to go on. That's all that's going to go on down the side. Probably some nice JDM style decent rims down the side, and that is not much else. And there's not much else left it really needs, if I'm honest with you. This car really does just speak for itself. There's not a lot of modifications these cars need to look as incredible as they do. So, on the business end, or the best sounding end, the rear end, again, do you know what? It's just a continuation. There's not a lot that's going on. Obviously, this rear lower lip needs to be done. I've got these JDM rear lights, I don't know what you call them, these sort of circular, sort of like Lexus. They're really cool, they're really funky. I got those super cheap, and they're already like sort of pre-tinted, so they look great. What I do need though is a spoiler. It is dreadful. It is just so bad. I'm gonna have to wait a whole month for one to come as well, but it needs a spoiler, so that is definitely happening. Now, what else is happening at the end of this month is that I'm also having a exhaust system done, which will have 2 4-inch tips protruding out the back, probably quite more than you can see the stock tips as well, so that'll look quite funky. But what I have done on the rear end already, which I should have probably discussed first, is just some small fine touches. So obviously these lights, they're slightly better, they're not the best, but they're great, they look awesome, it doesn't bother me. Now I've had a rear wiper delete, which is just need one. Why do you need a rear wiper? They're from Wales. And I have done a facelift. I don't know if that's a Type R badge or if that's just a facelift badge. I don't really know. I think it might be a Type R or Type S badge. I'm unsure. Honda fanboys, let me know. I'm blacked out the badge, and that's really the back. I have it in the camera because I can't see it on my rear window because it's very dark. And that is literally the rear said and done. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I haven't really done much to it because I've got no funds yet. And basically, I'm just waiting. The whole car's basically crap until the lip kit comes, until the paint's done next year. So if you want to see nice, clean, beautiful bodywork and the car completed, it's going to be next year. But at least you guys have got ideas about what the plans are for this amazing car. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I must say that this has been an absolute blessing to own. It has been amazing, it's been super helpful. It's been giving me opportunities beyond any I've had before. It's been money, not by moving stuff in it. It's just been a flipping awesome car. Do you know what? It just has this stature on the road, just makes it stand out. It's just, I don't know, it's just a mint car. Like, it's just nice. Nothing more I can really say. Any sort of JDM boat of any sort, it's just blissful. So nice to drive. I'm very sure I'm saying this. You'll see a video next week. I'm saying that this is actually going to be a very decent, reliable car. You've got one of the best engines Honda's ever made with a fairly crap gearbox, and you've also got just Honda itself, a decent brand. You know, I don't think I'm going to have any issues at all with this car, and I'm just excited for at least the next year's ownership with this thing. It's been really, really good, and it's just going to get better and better. Like this car next year, 19s, maybe a wrap, maybe a paint job, or just clean paint in this colour. Boom, it's going to be in, and I'm so excited for it. So what I can basically say after 2 months having the Odyssey is it's useful for literally everything. It's super reliable, super decent so far, at least anyway. It just looks awesome, it's different, and the final thing is to go and buy yourself one, because they are incredible. Just make sure you get yourself an absolute. Unfortunately, in my budget at the time, this was all that was available, and even still, this even shouldn't be in my damn budget. Even in this condition, it's worth way more than what I paid for it. So, yeah, what can I say? I like the Odyssey.